What's going on? This is Dwayne here with I Feel You, the podcast. And today's guest is a native Atlantan, a graduate of Savannah State University, a radio industry veteran, proudly serving at WEAS E93 FM in Savannah, E93.1 FM in Savannah, Georgia, WALR KISS 104.1 FM in Atlanta. She is the host of Soul Titty, a podcast. She's also premier voiceover talent and an executive producer and entrepreneur. And the list goes on and on. I'll present to you the Media Maven April Dobbs. Hey, April, how you doing?
Well, I feel like after that, I need like that DJ. Pew, 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 pew.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been practicing. I've been watching Sway in the morning. I'm working on my intros. That's my thing now. My intros.
Listen, you did good. You make me sound amazing. I'm like, dang, I did all that. Okay, cool.
Well, thank you. All right, now April. The reason why I reached out to you is because June is Black Music Month, and I wanted to have someone who represented excellence in the radio industry and also in entrepreneurship, and also someone who represents both of those and is a graduate or an alumnus of Savannah State, and you fit all three of that, the prerequisites. So I'm glad to have you on. And if you could just give us a little history of where you're from and how you got into radio and things of that nature.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I am just excited for you. I love the name. I feel you, the podcast. So I love it. And if you know you'll know, like you can hear you say it.
Right.
As a marketing person, for me, it's just like, I feel like it fits your personal brand. Because like when I see, I feel you, I can hear you say it like in your voice.
Right.
That's so you. That's so you. You nailed it. But it's been just a trip getting to this point, and I'm just really excited that you invited me here and invited me to be involved. So let me say a little about me that you didn't mention. Like you said, I'm one of those rare natives of Atlanta. Actually, I'm not a Grady baby. I was born in Decatur. Okay, so everybody ain't born in Grady if you're from Atlanta. Okay, I was born in Decatur, and yes, I've had an incredible career over 2 decades in television and radio broadcasting, and I can't believe it because I don't think I'm 26 at all. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it like this: I believe I'm 26, I should say. So when I say that I've done something for over 2 decades, 26 years is crazy. But I've had a really, really crazy, beautiful, and blessed career in broadcasting. And it has afforded me the opportunity to do other things like executive produce and, do marketing work and create Media Maven LLC, which is now kind of through umbrella company that pretty much covers everything, creative services, marketing. I do voiceover work like. And I'm not on the radio right now. I just ended a career actually with Univision Television in Los Angeles, which is a Spanish-based network, and it was their African American. I'm gonna say this: I was their only. No, I'm gonna say it. I was their only Black person in there. Okay, like
for real. Okay. No, I don't mean to stop you, but how was it?
You know what? It was definitely an experience. I learned a lot. I learned more in those 4 years that I was with that company in broadcasting than I pretty much learned in maybe 15. The exposure was really good for me. Being immersed in another culture and understanding how they work and how they kind of view everything else. That was eye-opening for me. Like, how do the Latin community, what is the connection with the Latin community and the African-American community? I found that out. So it's a lot of things. Man, I can go on and on about that experience, and it was fulfilling, and I absolutely enjoyed it. You know how you leave a job and you just like, man, I'm glad it's over. Now, every day I enjoyed that job. That was the first job that I had. I could honestly say that it was fulfilling and I enjoyed it, but I'm ready to spark and find something else. So that's that. Let's see what, in your introduction, you cover everything. I don't keep going on and on about myself, but overall, I'm just I call myself a corporate creative.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that I've learned being in front and alongside the camera and or mic is that now I have a whole perspective of how people behave in entertainment. And
Right.
so now I know the inner working about, like, you know, how the business is. How do you pay these people? How do you pay the talent? I've been the talent, but how does the
Right.
company, how does, you know, the structure of the organization impact, you know, the creative? And as a result
Right.
of it, now I tend to be more of an advocate for creatives and helping them navigate the corporate world, because a lot of people, you know, creatives are really not able to kind of cross over into the workings of the corporate structure. Two totally
Right.
different things, but I've had a unique experience being on both ends of that.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I could talk all, so you got to stop me.
Well, you keep on talking. I
No?
like to listen. I like to listen. That's how I learn, by listening. So
Yeah.
the more you talk, the more I'm learning, actually. So it works for me.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So all right. So well, uh, now this is a little off the topic because
Yeah.
you talked about Media Maven LLC or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and so and that's an umbrella company.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what are your goals for that company now or whatever?
Okay, well, so right now what I'm doing is I am doing a lot of digital marketing. And I've
Okay.
been clients for that.
Right.
So I have a certification from Yale School of Management in
Gotcha.
digital marketing. And
Okay.
and you know, that is the future, right? Everybody's on social media. That's how people are promoting their business.
Right.
This is how you're promoting. I feel you. You know, so
Right.
this is the platform for it. So it's just the way that we're going. It's a different direction in advertising. So I wanted to hone into that. Also will parent my production company, because I really hope to produce another stage play again. Not slash
Right.
very first, and it was done in the pandemic. So we had a lot of limitations with that. So I'm actually in the process of writing a play right now. I'm gonna write.
Okay.
I didn't write, but this play I'm actually writing it. And I'm not really sure how it's gonna come out, but I've been working on it, and
Right.
get back, you know, get that on the stage sometime soon. Another thing is, again, the voiceover work we mentioned,
Hmm.
and um, also promotion. I do a lot of promotions as well. I love
Hmm.
doing social events. You know, I throw parties at homecoming every year
Right.
with our group, SSU High Society
High
LL.
society.
Um,
Right.
and, and that group is dedicated to just basically just the showcasing of Black excellence. We want to amplify Black excellence, no
Right.
matter, specifically if you come out of Savannah State University, as you see the flag in the back. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, if you come out of that institution, we want folks to know, we want folks to see the excellence, and we want to celebrate that. So that's what High Society is all about. But outside of that, I also do
Hmm.
event planning. I've been an event planner, promoter for years, and now, you know, I just have more intention behind the events that I throw. So uh, so yeah, that's pretty all encompassing. Anything that falls under communications or marketing, Media Maven LLC will come.
Okay. Got you. All right. So you mentioned SSU High Society LLC. Now,
Mhm.
are you at liberty to sort of kind of, because homecoming is coming up?
Uh-huh.
Can you give us a little tidbit of what you got going on? Because I know I see
Yep.
the advertisements every year, and I know it
Yep.
gets better and better. So, what do we have in store for this year?
So this year we're working on a premier sneaker ball. We want to do a ball. Again, like, we throw parties every year, and every year has a theme. Um,
Right.
and this year we're kind of like, we really were able to get some time, because Savannah State, for, you know, one of those rare cases, they were able to release the date for homecoming much sooner. And then the
Right.
interesting thing about High Society LLC is that all of us have different careers. We have different backgrounds, we have
Right.
different, you know, uh, lifestyles. So we just come together for the love of Savannah State University, and coordinating that in itself is a challenge. But
Right.
we it. And we're doing the sneaker ball this year. So, we are, once again, trying to elevate that experience, have a beautiful event, celebrating Black excellence. And, Savannah State plays Tuskegee University this year. And we really are anticipating the big Tuskegee following or Tuskegee participation. Because Tuskegee, they cool and everything, but they don't do it like we do. So,
right.
So, I want them to be able to experience what a homecoming is like in your city. When you can do everything in the city. Shade.
Gotcha.
All
right, so who are the member? Who are the other members of SSU High Society LLC? And I guess if you could get into the story, how y'all got together to form this group.
Oh wow, that's a story in its own, child. But anyway, so, that's a bit of a story. But no, that's the story, boy. You made my head. I drank all my wine, so I don't like that. But no, it's a beautiful story, and it's all love, it's all positive. But But no, members of that group are at the top. I would say, I'll name us all. Like we have Chris Holmes. Christopher Holmes is a military veteran, and he is a sales guru in his own right. Just an extraordinarily professional, charismatic, and just smart dude. That's Chris Holmes. We also have Kenneth Albright, or Ken Albright. First name. We won't say his first name. But Ken Albright is probably, if not the premier promoter of urban upscale events in Atlanta.
Go ahead now.
Yeah, Ken. If you hear about it, Sweet Lounge, Marquee, oh my God, Spaceman Rooftop,
right?
All of the hot places in Atlanta, he's the promoter for it. And he's just a guru. He's just a guru when you talk about throwing events. Like there's just no one. Yeah, if you want to go to a hot event, you got Ken. So Ken is just extraordinary at what he does. I would suggest that you follow him. If you have guests coming in from out of town, all you got to do is just give him his IG and then just leave it alone. Like that's it. That's how thorough that one is. And then we have Chelsea McKee, who's our newest to SSU High Society, and she's a part of the younger generation. She will, if anybody knows her, people will describe her as a firecracker. That is who she is. She's just a ball of energy. An experienced professional in the educational technology career, or industry, I should say. She's just a bright, very spunky, super intelligent young lady who came in after us, and we knew at some point we were gonna have to start bringing in some of the young blood because it's tired now. Like look at the clock, it's ready to go home. But yeah, no, she's just an anchor to that next generation, and then that is our way of just kind of pulling up the next one, making sure they understand the importance of celebrating excellence. So she's just an amazing addition to the team, and there's been an evolution of how we got together. Initially, we were all working together with another group of alumni from Savannah University, who we did an amazing event together. And then, long story short, I'll just say that we wanted to go in two different directions as far as like what we promoted, but always and forevermore will be in 100% support of the other group. There's nothing but love there, but that's just it. So we kind of split apart and kind of did our own thing so that people have options, and that's what life is about.
Options. That's true.
Life is about options, and if you go to any other HBCU that has like a stronger presence, like if you were to ever go to Howard's homecoming, there's events on top of events on top of events. Like you've got so many different options choose from. And let's just even bring it to a PWI. If you were, if you attended UGA and you're an alumni at their homecoming weekend, you You have balls, galas,
right.
fundraisers, corn husk competitions, whatever. That is kind of what I envision. I hope that more and more people join in and create more options for us, because why not? Life is about options. Is variety is the spice of life, and that's what we are encouraging.
I get it. Just adding more variety to our homecoming, so we have more options and more things to choose from.
Yes,
and then
we're different. We all do different things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's cool. That's the beauty about Savannah State. And you went there. We've had. The personality of Savannah State is all over the place. There are the mega geeks. There are just the thugs. There's the educated street dudes. You got some bona fide hustlers. You got some very corporate minded, military minded people. I mean, it's just, we're all
like a bowl of gumbo, like
it
just
is.
yeah.
That's the beauty. That is the beauty. So yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna go back a little bit, because you mentioned something that that is like, okay, that's different. That's different. Writing a play. Now, were you like a writer growing up? Did you journal or whatever? Or this is just something like you just woke up and it's like, you know what? It's just something in your head, like I can do it, and you're just gonna do it.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of all those things. I've always had a really big imagination. Ever since I was little, I mean, like, I can overwhelm myself with thoughts sometimes. Like, I've always been kind of a
me too.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I can scare myself. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, why am I even thinking about this?
Right. I get it. I get it.
But or it could be real, and I'm just overwhelmed by it. So
right.
I think I've always been kind of a big thinker, and I used to kind of be ashamed of it, because that was masked in anxiety. Like, I could literally think myself into like just panic attacks, or just be completely overwhelmed with it. So to add to your point, I started journaling very young. Like, I've had journals since I was little, and it's just kind of my way of getting thoughts out of my head before I knew that was what I was supposed to do. But yeah, I would write down stories. I would write down what I was thinking about. I would write down how I felt, and that evolves now. I have a book everywhere. I keep like journals and notebooks everywhere, and I write down all the time. I always said that if anybody finds my journals, like, at some point in my life, I'm gonna have to burn these.
Right.
But if somebody finds these journals, but no, I've after just having a natural and a healthy love of theater, I've always loved theater. I've always loved stage productions, and being around creative people who I've come across actors. I mean, especially when I was living in LA, and I've come across phenomenal actors. One in particular who was the star of my play, John L. Adams, who has an extensive career in acting. It's just stupid, and I couldn't believe that we crossed paths. And then, if anyone would have told me that I'd be producing a play that he was starring in, I'd be like, "You crazy as hell." I'd never done that before. But he trusted me, just again, on just a connection. So I just started thinking, Dwayne, like, why not? What do I have to lose, right? I mean, I have nothing to lose. I may as well. And I have I have an idea. I'm gonna write it down. Gotten the fix of how to run a play, how to produce a play. So now I want to do my own. So I'm working on a play right now that I think is going to be incredible, that deals with women and their mother. Yeah.
Wow. Like the dynamics of women, like growing up, and
the impact of mamas on their daughters, and the perspective of that from a man, a Black man trying to love a woman. How has her mama influenced your relationship? And then even just going, if you're single, like I'm single, I don't have any children, I'm not married, and I think my mom, who raised me to be a wife, right? She raised me to be a wife, and I think about you know, why I'm still single, that's truly by choice, because honestly, it's like, for what she taught me, but my mom and my father taught me, but specifically what she taught me, that you give a lot of yourself away in relationships. And although it's beautiful, I believe in love, I believe in marriage, I think it's a wonderful thing. I for a long time was just like, and I don't know if I want to give all of me away. You know,
right.
Because I feel like I'm still working on myself. And if that means, I'm okay. I know what folks probably gonna think when I say that, like, well, that heifer gonna be lonely forever. Then fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what? Because I know how to create happiness. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have beautiful interactions and beautiful relationships with people. And I do long to be in a relationship, but that's a whole nother story. But back to play. I'm writing this right now as, you know, really just kind of how I feel like my mom shaped me, and how we used to butt heads, and what makes us get along now. And then when I start talking to my other homegirls and we get in a room, you'll be surprised how many times their mother comes back to a situation that they're in, or some advice they gave them, or what they've been exposed to. So, you know, this is the first time I'm mentioning this outside of my friends, by the way. Like, this is the first time publicly I'm mentioning anything about this.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're getting an exclusive.
So yeah, no, and then I'm doing it right now with the intention that I'm manifesting it to happen. Right.
Gotcha. So, right.
So if I put it out there, I can't renege on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's the premise of the play, without giving way too much away. And that's what I'm working on. And, you know, there may be something that comes up between the completion of that, because, again, you know, I have friends working. I have had people reach out to me and say, hey, you know what, we'd love for you to produce a play. We got some people working. You know, folks are talking all the time. All right, when you're ready, so it could happen sooner or later. So yeah.
Okay. So you said you know how to create your own happiness. So how I guess, and the reason I'm asking you is because, hell, I'm trying to find out how to create my happiness. I'm it's a process of, I guess, growing, and I guess healing, going through some stuff, and just trying to. I'm at a stage now where I guess sort of kind of done what everybody else has sort of kind of told you to do, and it's like, you know what, fuck this, you know what I'm saying? And for me, it sort of kind of hits me like, damn.
Yeah.
Not to get my age away, like, you 45, you about to be 46. You know what I'm saying? Which was like the impetus for creating the podcast, which has been on my mind for years and years. Like, all right, you ain't got too much longer. You might need to get to it. So, so how do you create your happiness?
Well, you know, just like what you just said, I'm doing exactly what you just said. At some point, you have to say, what is it? What can I do to fill in the space?
Right.
I'm a firm believer in God. Right. I believe that God is governing everything, and I believe there is an ultimate plan. So if, you know, being with someone is going to be the plan for my life,
right,
the only thing is that is going to, you know, once again, fulfill my happiness. That is going to my life, because what I can do, again, like I said, I create my own happiness. I simply just do what makes me happy unapologetically. And I let go of the stigma of this is what you're supposed to do. Right.
Right.
Because, you know, I think about like, I think in our generation, I'm about to be 47, right? I'll be 47 this year. And we're in a part of a generation where we were kind of taught that this is what you have to be a responsible adult.
Right.
What's unique about our generation, though, is exposure. We're now exposed to more than what our parents did, because our parents put down and did the work. You know what I mean? We're able to see what buckling down, doing the work for 30 years at a company, working to disability, okay? Because that's what our parents' generations did. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true. That's true. And I don't mean to laugh, but you're saying exactly that's the truth. Work yourself to disability.
You work to disability. You literally work until you can't anymore.
Right.
And then you have to figure it out, right? So, you know, if you have kids, hopefully your children will take care of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you've done well, then you've saved enough where you can be comfortable to do live out your life, and you could travel the world. That's what some people's lives look like,
Right.
And then you got others that's just like, what I'm saying, they just figuring it out as they go.
Right.
Again, me thinking about my future and what that looks like, I'm like, I don't want to be laid up somewhere, immobile, saying, damn, I did this. You know what I mean?
That's true. Right. That's true.
Because, it's like, I was watching, I don't know if it was like on social media or I don't know what it was, but I saw something where it was an interview with a hospice nurse. And she was saying that when she interviewed people who were hospice and they were on their last days or their last moments, and asked if you asked any of them what they regret, what was their biggest regret in their life, and it was always wasting time and not doing what I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you look at it like being selfish, but that wasting time and not taking care of themselves is the biggest regret. It's doing things somebody told you not to do.
Right.
So obviously, I got to get a job because I got to pay my damn bills. That's the old school training, right?
Right.
That's
right.
Us. We got to do what we're going to do. I'm going to have my security, but you believe I'm going to balance this shit out and do something that want to make my life fulfilling, because, you don't know, it could be a wrap just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we are at the age where I know I'm starting to see friends pass away, and it's like, damn, you like, I just saw him like last week in Walmart. What happened? So and that's for me, that is hit home as well. It's like when you have close friends that are starting to pass away, it's like, okay, I really need to get my shit together. So
it's real out here. You got to get your shit together, and and it could be anything, man. Again, I can do dumb shit because I don't have dependents, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can do that. I recognize that, and I live pretty modestly in my life, so that I don't have a whole lot of overhead and a lot of responsibility, and that's by design, because it's just some non-negotiables for me. Travel. I'm going to take time out for myself to write. I'm going to explore something new while I can. I'm going to do it, not worry about the judgment of it. You got folks who's going to call you selfish, but I'm like, it's only selfish if I'm taking away from someone else. Like, I ain't got no,
right.
So call it what you want, but I won't be over here miserable. I know that.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna segue into you're also a staunch proponent of our institution, Savannah State University, and could you just tell us, give us your thoughts on how alumni, old and new alike, how we can contribute to our alma mater and try to help our school out, and as well as can you give a nice word of encouragement for our incoming freshmen?
Okay.
Yeah, well, incoming freshmen going to college anywhere, not necessarily Savannah State, but just incoming freshmen going to college anywhere.
Anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, that might just hear this and might just need a word of encouragement.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll first start by saying, yeah, I am a staunch supporter. I can't talk tonight for some reason, but I'm a staunch supporter of Savannah State University because Savannah State gave me an opportunity that otherwise I probably wouldn't have had. I would have made a completely different career choice. Because the fact matter is Savannah State wasn't my first choice. That's what a lot of people say.
Oh, wow.
When you talk to Savannah State, I didn't get into the school that I wanted to get into. You know, that's real. I wanted to get into Penn State. And they were like, yeah, you can, but not this year. You won't. You know what I mean? So I was on a waiting list.
Wow.
And then the overachiever in me, I just was like, man, I cannot not go to school when everybody else does. Like, I'm super competitive, right? So I'm like, and I graduated from Lithonia High School. Shout out to the Bulldogs. But I went to Lithonia High School, and my graduating class is pretty, you know, they were pretty, what should I say? I don't know what to say. Like, they were just on it. Like,
stellar on it.
Yeah, they were. Most of them were going to college or going somewhere, you know. So a really, really good, impressive group. And I just didn't want to be that one to not go somewhere. My brother had a contract. He was he works in, I guess it's like IT at the time. He had a contract and and I was gonna go military. I was gonna join the Navy. And my dad was like,
for real? Hold on, stop.
Yeah.
The Navy, so but that's another conversation. But the Navy, okay.
And my dad was very much so against that because I have another brother, a sibling of mine that went to the Navy, and that was during Desert Storm. And he was like, "No, I can't get another kid messed up in the head." You know,
right?
My brother, he all right, but I'm joking. My brother's dope, but you know, my dad was super political. He had his views about the military, and then you know, it's one thing for time to go, but his daughter was like, you know what I mean? So, so my brother had a contract. He was like, look, let's just go down to Savannah. You come with me and apply to Savannah State. You can get in-state, you know, you can get like the Hope grant because your grades are good. You know, it's not like my grades were trash. I just didn't have grades to start right away. And so he was like, so just go there for a quarter and then transfer next year, whatever.
Right. So, all right. So that was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. So it was only like, I don't know, 3 weeks support freshman orientation. We went down there and they approved, they accepted me right away. But on top of that though, Savannah State went hard to keep me. Like they were scholarship money. Like they really wanted me to stay. And that ultimately just led to me staying. Just that's what kept me there. Because once I got there, they was just like, "No, we can't let you go anywhere." I told them my story. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be here for a semester."
No, you didn't.
I told them straight. I was like, "Yeah, I ain't trying to stay down here." You know what I'm saying? And the rest was history. I mean, I just remember freshman orientation and feeling like I was in a big embrace. I immediately felt like I was a part of the family, and I will never forget. And that's the reason I stayed, because I'm like, man, I'd applied to so many schools and it was just so much like, trying to fit in, and I just felt like part of it. So now, like with the Alumni Association, that's a whole other show. I have the utmost respect for our Alumni Association. And stand for. I've been an national officer. I've been a former Southern Region Vice President of the National Alumni Association. And once again, across the board, Dwayne, if you are a member of any HBCU Alumni Association, we have the same bit of challenges. And that is the struggle between tradition and progression. It's going, it's something that clearly it's not an easy fix. It's been that way for years. But ones that get it, when you think about the institutions that really have understand that you can have both, you can have tradition and you can still think about the progression of the organization and its effectiveness. Once they get it, it's gravy, it's butter, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? That's how any corporation works. You know what I mean? If you think about organization, any successful business, they focus on people, customer service first, and then always be open to ever-changing times, being able to roll with progression. The more you try to keep people in a box and stifle folks. You're pushing this is protocol and it's been this way since 1983. You're never going to grow.
I understand. I totally understand.
You know, because you was in it with me. We were going hard. You know what I'm saying? We were going hard for a long time.
I get it.
I mean, but how many days we walked out of those meetings feeling like, depleted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or just defeated. Just defeated like that. Just we got nowhere with this. And then, there's the anticipation where you're supposed to do it for the love. We have to understand as members of organizations. I'm also a member of the Junior League of DeKalb County. I'm also a member of National Council of Negro Women. I'm a member of Urban League of Los Angeles.
Okay.
What you have to understand in an organization, though, is that we are not just members, we're stakeholders, right? We invested into this organization.
This organization, right?
In Savannah State University. As a stakeholder, I can anticipate, or I should expect that there are going to be there's going to be what's the word I'm going to say? We should expect to see that there's a meter for success. Like I should be able to ask you questions as to the progression of my investment. How are you protecting my investment? What are you doing to grow my investment? How can what's the plan? Is there a plan that you have for my investment? So, bringing it full circle, that's the way I look at the Alumni Association right now. And that's my personal frustration, because you're supposed to just deal with whatever they throw at you. And then you're supposed to say, okay, it's cool because I love Savannah State. Or
so basically it's so what I'm getting from this is basically going from the love of Savannah State and actually turning this. Well, it's a business, really. The Alumni Association is a business. Yes. There should be metrics that are measured to show how we're progressing, and then in the areas where we're not progressing, what needs to be done to change it so we can progress.
And a plan to do that, because the point of Alumni Association is for the benefit of the university. True. That's what we're there for. We're there to support the university and within our capacity, right?
Right.
So what can we do? Financially, we do the hard work, whatever, we do the labor, whatever needs to be done. We're there to support the university, period.
Right.
So if there's no plan, or there may be a plan, or if the plans are ineffective, or if there's protocols that's holding us back, if there's things that's not working, systems that aren't working, you should be able to say, hey, this isn't working, let's try this. Or somebody top leadership should be able to have a strategic plan in place so that you'll know what to anticipate. And guess what? Even if somebody doesn't have it all together, just the willingness to be open to it. That's the first, that's the first start. And I think that, this new administration, I do believe, currently, I just want to throw that out there. I believe they're doing a good job. I believe that people are working at the capacity, at their maximum capacity. And I believe that, with the right help and the right support, the right work, we may be able to push the scale a little bit further along. But, what I did vow to myself, though, Dwayne, vowed to myself that I would not become one of those disgruntled, angry alum that bash and have nothing but negativity to say, because we know them. The thing for me, though, is that I'm empathetic. I understand why they're that way. And because I made a vow to myself, I wasn't going to become that. I knew where to just kind of fall back into a space, and kind of get myself together and make sure that I'm at the right capacity to serve in the best role that I'm able to serve. So right now, I'm not active on the local, on the national side, but I'm still the secretary of the San Diego chapter. I love them. You know why? Because they are a military-based, a chapter. Because the San Diego chapter, there's a base there, and a lot of our alum from ROTC graduate, and they'll go to that base.
So, okay.
Yeah, so most of the alum in San Diego are military minded, and we just like that. I mean, I love it. Ain't no bickering, ain't no talking. We got a plan, we got an agenda, we signed a check, so we out of there. I love it. You know,
right.
So because I found a system that works, I know that it could work other places. So I'm just, I'm just going to I'm just going to remain faithful, and I'm going to remain positive. I'm going to support always. The Alumni Association knows I'm here to support, but I'm going to do it within my capacity. And that's where I'm at with that. Like I said, look,
I got you.
You talking about 30 minutes, we can go on all night with that one.
I got you.
But no, but just to finally answer your question about what I, some simple advice, brief advice I'll give to incoming freshmen, is to just be involved. I'm going to say that, like, be engaged, be present, and involved. Learn how to deal with people. Learn how to talk to people. Realize that the world is not a bubble, okay?
Right.
And, the beautiful thing about when we went to Savannah State, and we were small back then.
Right.
But it was cool because I didn't know where, like, a lot of distance. Like, I never heard of Twin Cities, Georgia. I never heard of Burton.
Right.
I never heard of Hinesville.
Right.
It's like, it was really dope just to get the exposure to meet people from all over. So that's my best advice. Explore every opportunity and do it while you're young. And if you fail at something, you got time to start all over again. You know what I mean? Don't waste the time. Explore everything. If that means, going to school abroad for a semester, do that. You know what I mean? Just do not put yourself in a bubble. One of my biggest regrets is that I moved off campus too soon. I shouldn't have done that.
That's what gets you, because you get disassociated from the actual experience. And I know when I moved off campus, I really didn't know what was going on, because I'd go to school and come home and go to work, So
Yep, that's right. You don't know. And I missed out on a lot of things because, April went to work for the radio station. So, that became so much of it. And it really did impact my education, where I wasn't as focused as I should have been.
Right.
And when it was time to graduate, I was just ready to get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? Because I just need
you and me both.
Yeah, exactly. You just get to a point where you're ready to stop. And I didn't go to school for journalism or mass comm. I just, that wasn't my degree was very strenuous. I was in the College of Biology, or Science, the College of Science and Technology. So I did it with an environmental science and chemistry major, degree, I should say. So yeah, I never worked in the field ever. You know what I mean? So I just have a cute paperweight that has my degree. I've never worked in my field. I've always worked in broadcast. So that would be my best advice. Get involved, be present, and get engaged. If there's anything, or if it's something that slightly interests you, get involved with it. And you never know. Like, I think that's going to separate the cream with this newer generation, because they're just not dealing with people. So, you know what I'm saying? So people skills and type, of course, but people skills is going to really, separate the leaders of this next generation. So that would be my best.
I believe that. Now, do you have any former teachers or professors or whatever that just stand out in the forefront of your mind that you would just like to just mention now? Like, hey, you know what? I'd like to give a quick shout out to this particular, professor, whatever.
I do have one that sticks out my mind. I would, you know what? But he influenced me in probably the most interesting way. Okay, so so Dr. Anna was my physics teacher. Okay. He was my physics professor at Savannah State, and I remember I just kind of skating this class, and you can't skate physics. Like, you really, again, my course load was pretty, you know what I mean? But I couldn't fake it. You kind of had to, physics, you got to study. But I really was just giving minimal effort, and he knew it. He knew that I was on the radio. He would say, "Oh, he was Indian," and I don't want to offend anybody. It was like, I say Middle Eastern. That's not, I don't want to be offensive, but his Middle Eastern.
Right.
And he had this strong accent, and he was just like,
Right.
"Oh, you're the big radio star. You're the radio star. You don't have to." And so he would call me out. You know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Right.
I come class tired as hell. You know what I mean? Because I've been in the club the night before, or whatever.
Right.
And, so anyway, one day, I guess he just had enough of my shit, and I was just, I could talk my way out of anything, right?
Right.
And he had the whiteboard, and he wrote on the back of the board, "lackadaisical," just in big letters across the whole word, spelled the whole word out, "lackadaisical." And he was just like, "This is you." He was like, "You are lackadaisical. You don't apply yourself. You're not going to get any further in life if you continue to be lackadaisical. This is how you want to be. You want to skate through life running your mouth. Don't let this be you. But this is what you are right now." And I was just like, whoa, it was the biggest wake-up call because nobody had called me out. And, and again, I knew I belonged. He knew I knew the materials. I just wasn't applying my. When I'm slacking to this day, I'm procrastinating, whatever. In my mind, I think about lackadaisical, and I'm like, I do not want that to be me. Like, to this day, I think about that. Like, anytime I'm procrastinating, like, all right, April, don't be lackadaisical. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But have you seen him since you graduated or ran into him?
I have not run into Dr. Anna. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know where he is. I pray that he's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope he's still with us. But yeah. But he was just, I don't know, like that day that kind of stuck with me. And then after that, I was just like, you know what, I belong. I can do this work. And that was really when I just turned it around. I was like, let me get my shit together and focus on getting out of here. And and that really was like the one that really just kind of turned the knob up for me. It was like, you know what, you playing around, you about to F over school altogether. So when I graduated, thank you, Lottie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you and me both. I guess my experience with that is sort of kind of when I look up and I notice everybody I came in with is gone. I'm like, hold on, I wish another damn class. Oh shit, let's get it again.
Y'all don't even know nothing, y'all. This is a whole new set of folks. Where y'all come from? Right. It was just, it gets old fast, and
it does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and I just one last question that you sort of kind of mentioned while you were talking about Dr. Anna, and that is, and I guess it would relate to schoolwork and incoming freshmen as well, how to balance, because you were on the radio and then you had it sounds like you had a hell of a workload. So how were you balancing that at the same time? Because I work with you at the radio station, and I know the hours. So
how did I do that? You know what? For me, I'm a schedule person. I love calendars. And I literally will write it down. Like, I have to give this time to this one thing. Otherwise I'll be all over the place. And I'm able to multitask very, very well. But if it's something I know I have to complete, then I just give all of my time to it. And I'm also a firm believer of just finding the right space to do work. So for instance, now working from home, I absolutely hate it. I'll be the first to admit I hate working from home because I'm a people person. And I know a lot of folks be like, man, you on your own. They'd rather be at home. Like, and I understand, I get the traffic part of it. But
gotcha.
But the thing is, for me, is that being in a space has to serve that purpose. So when I'm at home for the purpose of relaxing. This is my crash pad. You know what I mean? When I'm at work, I'm there for the purpose of work. So when I'm done, I shut the door, and I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going back to that until I open that in. So walking across the hall from my bedroom to my office is too much of a blurred line for me. I don't know. What I found is, like, I'll go I have my little coffee shop that I go and I do my marketing work.
Right.
So I go there, and when I'm there, that's my tiny office. You know what I mean? And I have a schedule that this is going to be the time that I'm going to do it. I'm also adamant about working out. And I'm just a firm believer that you got to keep moving, because if you don't, then when it stops, it stops. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I ain't trying to stop no time soon. So I set aside the time. I literally write down every single day that I'm going to go to the gym, and no matter what, like my whole thing is, if I get there, I'll work. Sometimes, it may be 30 minutes, it may be an hour, but at least I'm doing something. But that I'm there for the purpose of that. So, working out at home, my little exercise bike over here, that just hangs my clothes. It's cute. I can't work out at home. I can't do it.
Right. So it sounds like you're the type of person you have to go out and physically be in the place that's designed for that activity or whatever, because at home is like you said, home in your head is for relaxation and chilling. So right, I get it.
Yeah. So that would, I would say that's how you handle multiple things. Block out the time and let nothing distract you.
Gotcha.
I can't sit still, Dwayne. Like I'm all over the place, and
that's me too.
It annoys my friends to no end. You know what I mean? They think I should sit down because they think I'm tired. This is just me. You know what I mean? So I'm not tired. It was like, you should be tired, but I'm not. So I'll find something, fill a space, and I'm telling you something. I will try something. Like, I bought a bass guitar on Sunday. And listen, I need a break. I'm gonna go in there and doom 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 doom.
Now, do you know how to play the bass?
I'm learning.
Okay. And that's been one of the things that's on my list to do as well, as the bass guitar. I've been wanting to learn how to play the bass forever, and it's a thing I've written down in my journal. That's been in the journal for about the past 10, 15 years. So I just need to go ahead and knock that out too. So I got a lot. I got a lot to do to accomplish on my list or whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? If it's something that you can do, like, I'm a list. The same thing, Dwayne. I'm a list taker. I have a thing. I keep vision boards. I keep all kinds of things. I can write it down. And it took. I mean, for instance, I've been wanting to play the bass for years as well. And some things like are on my list, I can't afford it, or it's just out of my reach. But if I get to a point where I'm like, wait a minute, I can fit this one in. It took me 5 years to fit it in.
Right.
I'm gonna go do it, and that's what I did.
Right.
So, and it's cool. Again, my point of making is just like occupying your time in your space and protecting your peace, whatever that looks like.
True.
So I needed a distraction besides being on this damn phone, strumming through social media. You know what I mean? I have a dog. She cool. You know what I mean? But I just,
said she cool. She cool. All right.
She cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, for me, it's just like idle mind for me. It's just not the best thing. So I try to stay busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Well, I would like to say thank you, April, for joining us today. It has been this conversation has been, well, I don't know if it's really been a conversation, because you touched on a lot of subjects, and then everything sort of kind of it led to other things that could just keep going and going and going and going and going. I'm like, the conversation really could go on to so many levels.
But you can cut all of this out, man. Cut a lot of it out. Because listen, I'm just trying to be present in a moment, and and I'm happy for what you're doing. I'm excited when people want to talk to me about what I do. And then I'm all over the place. But at the same time, like, I'm going to go back after this interview and I'm going to be like, damn, I talked a lot. Right. But
no, it's very informative. And I look at it as being very informative. And for me, it's like, even though I know you, it's like I still got more of a glimpse into who you really are, like outside of what I've known you, in the areas that I've seen you in or whatever. It's like, okay, I dig it. So, and hopefully the audience will feel that as well, like, oh, that damn April,
He crazy for real.
Oh,
you have
man.
no idea. You have no idea. But no, it's cool. But I mean, ultimately, like I said, I will settle into just this is who I am, and
Right.
I absolutely love supporting what you're doing, and I love what you're doing. This is an outlet. This is how you're protecting your peace. This is how
Right.
you maintain your happiness and your in whatever it is. So I'm happy for you. I'm happy to be excited. Just happy to be a part of it. That's all.
Okay. And
Yeah.
once again, I thank you. And to everyone out there, I hope you have a great day, night, whatever, whenever you see this video.
Yeah. Oh,
And
and follow me on my social media too, by the way.
okay,
Yes.
if you could, yeah, what are your handles? Oh, yeah, if you
On
could
my
give your
handles.
social media handles, and also if you have any websites and things of that nature you like to plug.
I tell you what, I'll make it easy and quick. Just go to my website, aprildobbs.com. And on aprildobbs.com, everything's there. My LinkedIn account, Instagram. If you want to reach out and do a collaboration, you want to work together on a project, I'm open to any creative project. So go to my website. It's going to, prompt you to let's make a connection. And that's what I hope. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us, April. Well, joining me, April, here at I Feel You, the podcast. This is Dwayne, and we're signing off. You guys have a great one.
So, bye. Thank you, Dwayne.
You're welcome.